Are you doing this a fine evening? I'm doing fine. Last week I had a holiday and it was very fun to do. Play with kids, and it was very good weather in the Netherlands, so it was very lovely. Let me just turn a little bit. It was very lovely to just play outside with the kids and working in the garden. It was very fun to do. We also went to a swimming pool, so that was very fun. Yeah, had a pretty nice holiday with kids. It has been tough the last couple of years, actually. Getting adjusted to having kids, and that you need to be a parent and that you need to take care of the kids. I mean, it isn't always very easy and just normal to do so. So yeah, you need some time to get adjusted. The eldest one is 3.5 years old, so you can see that it can be tough a little bit, but we're getting there. At least I'm getting there. And besides the kids, I've been also doing some fun things with Greenshift, and as you might have noticed by the title, today we're going to get trying to recreate a magazine styled theme based on the Clifton WP video that's linked in the description down below, if you would like to see it. And if you like to follow along, there's also a blog starting link available for you, where I've imported the media and the content files from Clifton WP, so we'll be using that as well. And Greenshift is already installed, and the Greenshift theme is already installed. I mean, those are the basic things you should be able to understand and know how to do, so I won't be going over how to do those. Also, if you would like to learn about setting up hosting, you also need to set up hosting and have a website to run this, but you can test out the TasteWP website that I've linked down below just to get a feel in Greenshift, and you can also upload your own purchased query add-on. Today we're going to recreate a magazine style. Let me switch my screen. We're going to tutorial. It's from this guy right here, Clifton WP, and he made it for Cadence. And someone asked me, Mohi from the Facebook group, if you know him, asked me, is it possible to create something like this as well for Greenshift? And I was like, let's try it out, right? And I planned first to do this in a preparation, and now I just want to do it live to just prepare and feel how it looks, and then perhaps make a tutorial afterwards with all the steps necessary. And you can follow along. What he ends up with is a website looking like this, with a nice feature section and some other blog posts, a newsletter thingy. Let's see. He also uses to create a sections for each category, I guess, and a nice sidebar with ads and categories here as well. And there's another ad thing in there and a footer. There's also some preset archive types, because I don't remember that he also built that one. So we are going to recreate the front page that Clifton WP did on his channel. So let's get started. So first off, you have to have the query add-on. Now there's a link down below, so it will help you get started pretty quickly. It's this one. You need to purchase it before you can use the queries, and that's the one you need to get the website up and running. So if you would like to follow along, you need to open this one. And for one site, it is $20 a year, which isn't a very big amount of money. If you ask me, it's very affordable and you get all these kinds of fields, and we're going to use some of them. Let's close those. So if you want to purchase it, you can also purchase a all-in-one pack. That's the one that I have. So I have the WooCommerce SEO and design pack all gathered in the all-in-one pack, and that gives you access to the add-on of the advanced animations, marketing and SEO add-on, a chart query add-on, and that is the one that we're going to use today, and a WooCommerce add-on. Now this, so if you would like to purchase it, you just select the, not the WooCommerce one, the query add-on, or you select a bundle, whatever you feel like. I think the bundles are a better value than just the separate query add-ons. I have the all-in-one pack. It's $30.99 for a lifetime. It's pretty expensive, I guess, but you get a lot for the amount of money. And in my opinion, is well worth it, even seeing how this is all going. So yeah, then you go to the checkout process of purchasing it. I have it already in my account. So I will just log in. Let's switch to my screen for a little bit, that I will log in and activate the query add-on on my website. Let's see. Can I do it like this? I guess so. So here we have the backend of the Greenshift. And if you purchase the all-in-one pack, you can pick, for example, the query add-on, Greenshift Query, and here it will be downloaded. Query add-on. Such a difficult thing to say sometimes. It will download, as you saw in the right side. It will zoom this a little bit in. Then we go to your website. This is the TasteWP test website. I use this a lot for testing out things or just making things. Then you go to plugins and hit add new plugin. I will turn to the camera also. And then we add WordPress upload plugin in the top. And then we click choose file. And in the choose file, we see that there's a Greenshift query that you can select that one and hit install. Then we hit activate plugin. And now is it, there's also a new update available. Ooh, scary update. If it fails, it doesn't matter. We have a backup. But yeah, there we go. And if we go to Greenshift add-ons, we have the query add-on installed. And then we go to license manager and you enter your license key in here. You go to Greenshift and manage licenses, or you press Greenshift and go to license manager. Then you can add your license in there. So I will do it really quickly. Activate license. And there it is. Now it's activated. Then we hit save changes and then we're done. So now we can make changes to our website. So this is the import from Clifton WP, as you can see. And it's all the blog posts that he created. Some nice lorem ipsum blog posts. Here's something with cadence entered in there. Now it doesn't work because we don't have cadence installed. I see there's also some issues with some of the images. I don't know why. Let's see if we view it. Not all images are loaded, so I guess I will replace that at a time, but not for now. Let's go to edit our front page now, shall we? Then we go to appearance and editor. And then you just click the main screen. And let's edit the header. So you can click on the header, which is your navigation. And when you hit edit, you can change your menu. So we're going to add a navigation. I see there's already a navigation here. If you would like to see an overview of what's in the DOM in your in the editor, you click the staircase, and when you click the staircase, you have an overview of everything. And on the right hand side, you have this, what is it? A tilted box or something. And when you press that one, you have an overview of all your pages. Now we want to add another page link. And the page link is to, oh no, it's not a page link, it's a category link. So we add a category link. We'll add business. Category link. We'll add food. And we add another one, font crafted. Don't know if we have another one. No, we don't have another one. Also would like to have one. So there we have our navigation. See, this one can be removed. On the Clifton, I think I need to leave it open. Let me grab the link real quick.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
It goes over that one. So here he is building his navigation, and let's remake that one. So we're going to our navigation again. Perhaps we can do even one better. So let's start with this. So we want to add before those, even before the first row. Before we want to add another row, and then the row can be full width, it doesn't matter actually. And we add in a heading. It should be the site name, site title, and we want that centered. Now, because this is a row, it centers within the first row, and we want to change it to have just one. Let's see. And it can be full width. And we want to align justification of the items. We want it to be centered. So now it's all center. And then we can change our heading. And we can set a different typography. We can select font family. And here we have the default font family. Now we would like to change it. So we can go back to our navigation. Then we go to Greenshift, and then you have theme settings when you have the Greenshift theme installed, which is the case in our case. Let's call this the Peggy's Flex Times. Another news, magazine, website. Save. Then we can go to style book. We created one. No, this is not the place I would like to be. I want to be in global settings because I want to select a font, but you have to upload your font. So we're going to do that on another place. And let's get back to the editor of the front page. Then we open up styles. That's the above one here. If you select that one, you have the styles for your whole website. Within the full site editor, they click on typography, and then you can click the settings icon, and then you can install fonts. They press allow Google access all. Let's see which one Clifton uses in his tutorial. Just a little bit more. There we go. Unifractuur. Uni. Let me select that one. Install. Now the font is installed. Now we should be able to select that one when we go back to the box, which is the settings tab. And then in styles, we can select a font family. And here we have the newly installed font. And when we select that, the font changes. Now we can hit save. And if we view site, then you see the new font already in there. Now I would like it to be a little bit bigger. So we're going to make a fluid heading. Gigantic. I love gigantic things, as you quite possibly could know. Now that's the logo. For the next part, we will be adding inside this row. I want a line going from left to right, so we can set this to full width. This option, by the way, is only available when it is within a group. The rows outside of the group, you can see you cannot resize the section, the row, but when it's in the group, you can resize the row. So that's a very good thing to know. I had sometimes I didn't have a group above the row and then it wasn't available. Then I couldn't get this row the full width. Also, it's not available then in the Greenshift settings. Let's move the other group. So next up, see row, styles, and then we're going to add a border. Going to add a black border of 1 pixel. And we don't want it to be everywhere. So if I remember correctly, this has been changed. Don't want to have it left and right. So the cabinet is set to 0. And now you can see a nice line going from left to right, just like the one from Clifton. This one can be closed. Then before the first row, I want to add a query meta-getter, because we want to get today's date. So let's see. Now, to be fair, I am still exploring this, so it goes as fast as it goes. And here we have current year, current month, today plus 1 day, 8 May, but I want just today. It's such a shame that there's it's almost perfect out of the box. Site name, site description, current year, current month, but it's not today. There's no way you can set today. That's a shame. Let's just select this one, and we should go to Greenshift and ask if they can add today as well. Let's add. So then we need to make it smaller. This is just a div, and we're going to typography. The color is set correctly. Then we can select. If you select this icon when it's blue, you can select a preset of settings. As you can see, there's also some fluid settings already available, which helps when you go responsive. It scales up or scales down depending on the size of the user screen. For now, we go extra small. I guess this one is big enough. So look, They're all caps, and there's also search icon. Oh yes, more. I guess not everything is imported. And there's also a hover effect we don't want. So let's see if we can disable that one. First, let's change the size of this one as well. 8.5. Maybe 1 rem is good enough. Looks perfect. We want this to be the width of it. Disable hover. So now the hover is disabled. So that's fine. And I want it to be capitalized. So you go to the styles again. Then in typography you have appearance, and within appearance you have the wrong one. Then it should be lettercase. And you press this one, and then everything is uppercase. Looks about the same. Today's date is. We need to add a little text. So before this one, the meta-getter, can we set it in here? Size clamp, value spacing, labels, prefix label. Today's date is. And it seems like the label has a different kind of styling than typography value. And now it's fixed. Now we only have to add something to the prefix. Space. I guess a space is not being added. Now I do know a little bit of HTML, so let's add a %NBSP non-breaking space. That's actually just a space, but it isn't breaking, so it will be in one line. If you add a lot of those spaces, you can get a horizontal bar if you would like. Let's add a little bit music as well, by the way. So there we go. Ooh, a little bit loud for my taste. And on the right side, I would like to have some kind of social icons. So let's remove those buttons and then add afterwards a social icon. Now we can have multiples. Social icons. We don't want the social share, we want social icons. So we click the plus to add. And we want to add, for example, a Facebook logo. And aren't we able to make it look a little bit different? Guess not. Let's add tag the reviews. I don't think we can style this. So another way to do this is to add an icon. So we can just remove this one because I don't think it looks nice. Add afterwards icon. Then we have more control over what's in there. See, Facebook. Then we can change the color if we would like to. Then we can add also some kind of boxy background, like in here. See if he removes it. No, he adds it. Oh, let's add that one. 16 pixels, maybe a little bit bigger. We can set this to 1 EM. 1 EM is a unit of measure, and it is based on the size of the font. And usually the font size, font size in a browser is 16 pixels. So that's something you need to know. Then we add a boxed, and for the background, I want it to be light gray. And I want the padding to be smaller. It isn't ideal because I can't see what I'm actually doing. 0.5 EM is half an EM, which means it is 8 pixels. Let's see, and then we go to border. We don't want to have a border at all, but we want 0 border radius. Maybe a little bit, looks nice. So there you have our first icon, and then we can add a link as well. So here you have container link, funny name, but yeah, that's what it is. And then you can enter in your Facebook page, like mine, Techies Reviews. And then you hit save. And then you can duplicate and add another one. Now, because this row is set to be a row and the justification is space between items, these two need to be in a group. You can do that by just clicking on the icon, selecting both icons, clicking the icon, and then, for example, click container wrapper. Now it's wrapped, and then you can select flex, and now it's nicely besides each other. And then we can add another icon. So we have some kind, we can have 3 icons or more if you would like to. Let's add my YouTube channel as well. If you like this kind of videos, by the way, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. So I know that you would like me to create more of these kinds of videos. So we add Techies Reviews. And then lastly, we add another one. Let's see. The Figma icon. It's a shame. Then we have Twitter, which should be X. Is X available already? Nope. So maybe the icon library should be updated as well. Twitter.com/techiesreview. I like to have some spacing between those. Now you can set it by clicking the icon and then adding a margin, but I like to use gap. So we're going to select our container, and because we set it to flex, you have the option to set a gap. Now, because I like to use EMs, we can set a 0.5 EM, maybe less, and I guess the spacing for those can also be smaller. That looks better. 0.2, and this could be 0.8. Let's copy the style. You can copy a style by clicking the brush icon, and then you can just copy and paste it like this very easily. Now, it looks already very good. Now let's add a little bit of spacing and a little bit of padding on the left and right side of this section. So you go to the styles again, and then you scroll down, and in the mentions you have padding, and the second one is left and right padding. You can enter something you feel like it looks good, and there we have our header. Yippee, we already created one thing. So let's get on to the next part. The next part is getting the feature section in. So let's do that now. So after header, add, we want to add loop. And we can also plus the toggle for the we can press the block overview icon. It says toggle block inserter, but I think it's a really weird name. If you press it, at least you have an overview of all your blocks available, but also of your patterns, also of your media. So that's a very nice thing. And we need something for the query. Oh, let's see. Framework elements. You have a advanced query list builder, but we want to have a query loop builder in there. So let's add that one. Now here we have an overview of all the items that we have added, that I've added already for you. And so these are all posts, but we would like to change how the post will look, right? You can do that by just clicking the pencil icon, and then you can click how the post will look. Now we want it to look like this. So you have some kind of big image with a small feature section in there. So what we already could do, because this only can be one, you can just add, we want it to be a 1 column grid. And we want the amount of items, database settings, fetch count, we want it to be 1. So this will make sure that you only get one post back, and it's the first one. And then we can edit it. Now, as you can see, there's already an image in there, but it has a fixed height. So let's remove that one and remove the width as well. And reset. There's also some kind of box around it. I don't want to have any borders. So let's reset the border. Already press reset, right? Yeah. And now shows that there are some changes. I think this is 50% of the full section. So let's add a container. A container is good for things wrapping in there. Now, what Team Greenshift mentions is that using a row is better. So let's add here at what they suggest and just add a row. And there should be a 2 column layout. We just duplicate this. I do this by pressing Ctrl-Shift-D, but you can also do that by pressing on the 3 dots on the column and press duplicate. But I like to use shortcuts. You can also press Ctrl-Alt-Z. Shift-Alt-Z to delete this section and Ctrl-Shift-D to duplicate. So now the row has 2 columns, and as you can see, the presets change. You can just put it like this. And we can add our feature section in here. So now we would like to change it. Do we need to change settings for this one? I mean, the size looks off to me. Let's first change the image size. It needs to be 100%. And then in here we have a group, which is fine. That has a metadata. What do we want first? We want a heading first. So let's add the heading first. And then for the metadata, we would like to have the post data and then the excerpt. So there we have an excerpt. Are we able to change the amount of characters? Let's have a look. Size and clamp. Enable text clamp. So here you can set how many lines, and it will end with 3 dots. He has about 2 lines. So this is a very nice feature, by the way. I do think the text is a little bit smaller than on our example. It has 14 pixels, 13 pixels. Don't be too Dutch, Lex. Let's see, 1.2. And then we also need to change the line height to not 20 but 1.5, because this is our main article. Can be a little bit bigger, but that does mean that our heading can also be a little bit bigger. So let's change this one and select something like 0.45. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. On the second line, he has the name and posted in. So we have by and the date. So to do that, we will add a metagetter. The metagetter should get the taxonomy of categories. So we go to taxonomy, current, and we want to get the field. If you press this one, you can select one, but there is no field. There should be a taxonomy available, actually. Or is it archive? Archive meta field. Archive. Let's have a look what this does. It doesn't look, it doesn't have any archive. Ooh, I don't think this looks nice. We need to change that up. The row needs to be the width. So there needs to be another row in there, a row within a row, because I want the lines to be the whole width, and within the whole width I want to have another container. Let's use a group block, set it to row, but then we can't set the width. That's so annoying. Container, we can't set the width of that one as well. So when it's in a row, there's no possible way you can. So you need to add a group first. Add before another group. Well, I think this is very ugly, so it would be nice if the sizing would be available. Wait. Doesn't matter if this one is a row now, does it? Because we just want it for the line, and now it is as we would like to have it, but we would like to have it wide. And if we hit save, it is fine. Nice. So let's go back once again. Looks like there's some kind of side header, some kind of spacing going on. Can't see where coming from. Is coming from the column. Some kind of border is set somewhere. Oh, it's just indication of where everything is. All right, next up, the archive title. We're struggling to get what I want. Posted in. So we want the person. There's the person is already there. And next we would like to have the archive title. But this isn't our archive page, so I guess you can get that one. We can change this one up. To have taxonomy terms, and then taxonomy, and get field, author name. Isn't there a way to just select category and graphs? It does, but it's a little bit of a guesswork, so it would be nice if there's some better indication. One moment. So here we have Clifton WP and then handcrafted. And if you would like to add a prefix, you go to labels and add prefix. You said posted in, and there we go. Now, as before, we need to add a little bit of HTML and non-breaking space, and that makes sure that there's a little spacing there. Then we change, copy and paste the value. And can be possible. So we type in the value of in the prefix, and now it's the same size. See, I want to have a taxonomy link, and now it's a link. But the row needs to overlap the group actually, because we want this whole section to overlap a little bit over the image. So we select the group. Select the styling. Let's give it a white background. And you can move it up a little bit by changing the top margin and use a negative value. Now I don't know if they allow you to do negative values. Apparently they do. And there should also be some spacing. Let's see, that one was pretty good. There should also be a left and right margin. Let's see, but I don't see that you can set those. Vertical custom. But those are only from top and bottom ones. So what we also can do is select those and set them in a container, move the container outwards. Now you can see you can just drag it also in the sidebar, and then you can drag it outside. For example, the group it was in, and within the container we can change the background color to white, and we can change the sizing. So these are quick menu options, a very welcome thing to have. And let's add a padding from left and right of 1 and a top padding of -2, maybe 3, 2.5. You can play around and give some margin. It will be a margin left and right from the image. I see that there's more spacing here, so I could imagine that perhaps this column would be a little bit bigger. So we go to our rows, set it even bigger. Then what we also can do is just change the size of this one as well. So you go to the right hand side, then you have size, and within width you can set a max width of the amount of pixels or EMs you would like. For example, 20 or 40. What you also can do is use CH, and CH is the characters, the amount of characters you can see. And usually I have something like 50 or 40 set. It's like this looks good as well. And then for the container, I want some padding. Add a padding to all of 1. And then left and right can be 2. Just to give a little bit more spacing. And there we have our first section. So let's build the next thing. So let's refresh this as well, right? Let me save this one. Save. Refresh. And there we have our first featured section. I think it looks pretty similar. I love this design more because I made it, of course, and my work is better because it's hard working. Now let's add the ones here on the side. Let's see when he's finished. Yep, it's like that. So we can add another query loop in there as well. A query loop builder. Wow, there's a lot. So what we can do is we need to set the grid to 1. The grid gap of 20 is fine. Would you also would like to change this perhaps the amount of things we want to show, and we want to skip the first one because this one is the same as this one and doesn't make sense to have it 2 times. So we need to change that, and that can be done by setting a offset. When we change the offset to 1, it will remove the first post, like you see. It's happening right now. And then we can change the style of this one. So we click the edit icon again, the pencil. And let's see. I don't want to have any borders. Let's reset that one. So it doesn't have any. I want the border radius to be 0. Oh, it's not on the query. Let's change the border again. And there we have it. Then let's add. Can we set it in the query loop builder as well? One. Can we set this as a grid type? And we can set it as a list. That's what we want. Data settings, filter settings. We don't want any filters. We don't want any label spacing. Flexible content. Yes, we would do like flexible content. We wanted to go downwards. Oh yeah, this is like a full group, right? So if it's not that special, we can just hit reset. We just need to add a container for this one, and the container needs to be flex from left to right, as you can see. Well, we get a little bit closer to how this looks. We don't need that one. Let's have a look. We have a title and the date. So we can remove the meta-getter. We don't need the row as well then. Can just have the date there. I guess there's a lot of spacing in here. So we can just remove that one. Spacing left to right, top and bottom. And the image is not looking that nice. So it would be nice if it's square. So we change the aspect ratio to have 1:1. And we reset the height. And there we have a square image. Now we can change the size of the heading. As you can see, it goes further. It's a little bit longer. So what I can do is change the, let's see, size is I possibly set in the quick set options. Yes, as you can see here, it's in the font size. And we can just change it to small. I do think the image is now getting a little bit too big, so perhaps we can set it to 50%. That it is, it's a little bit tiny. We can also do a little bit of a different thing. Instead of setting it to flex, we set it to grid. We want 2 columns, and now they already have half size. I don't really like that one actually, so let's put this one to auto. This one, the first one is for columns, and the second one, when you put a dash, you can set a second value. It's for the other axis. So this is for the horizontal axis, and we want to have perhaps one FR, two FR. That means that the first column will be one fraction and the second column will be two fractions. And as you can see, it looks a little bit better. And now we can set a side gap. Let's set pixels. I need to change it to a default value, man, because it's not good. I don't want to be custom. I just don't want to be 1 EM. Now this already looks better. Now we would like to add a background color for this container. Something like a light gray one. Something like this. You can also use the color picker, like the droplet getter. And when you press it, you see some icon happening over here. And then you can hover over, for example, your icons. You get the value of the color of the value of the color. And now it should be the same. Now if we hit done, there we have our section on the side. I do think it's a little bit too harsh on the colors, so we can change that one up. We select the container and then change the background settings. Set it a little bit lighter, because I think that looks a little bit better. That's done. So that's getting along nicely. Now I would like to have spacing between the first on the side and on the second one. So we go to our query loop builder, and then we should have the flexible content. Now we do select the flex box, and then we add a column gap. And I like a little bit of 0.5. Oh, it's a row gap. I'm sorry. And you're not able to copy and paste because some kind of weird thing happening. Should be row gap, right? Like this one needs to be top, and then to start, and then we have no wrap. This is weird. I expect this one to be spacing out our items, but it doesn't work like that. That's why I do this kind of preparations during my live stream. See, you try to do something and it doesn't work, so now we can figure out why it doesn't work. Well, let's see. There's all divs. There's another div. List item. That looks fine. Then we have our post block. Then we have our query add-on. And there we have another parent there. But there's a lot of parents going on. Doesn't really make any sense, actually. If we can remove and optimize the amount of parents. I don't see it reflecting there as well. I've set a gap. Do I need to set it as a grid? It's one. It doesn't seem to work. Now, did I set it up early? What we also can do if that doesn't work is that we set a margin to top and bottom of the container, and because I want 1 EM, we can just set it to 0.5 and then remove it. Unfortunately, the first one also have half EM spacing, so that doesn't look good. I'm still wondering why this one doesn't work. I expect this to have a row gap between the items. Why else are you able to set the flex content? Let's remove this one, hit save, and let's just see what happens if we refresh the front page. No, it's not there. Is this a bug? Have we found a bug? I'm going to ask. Let's add a margin then again of 0.5. I really don't like that I need to do it like this. Maybe set it to 1 EM. Then top to 0. If we refresh it, there we go. There we have our second section available. Let's make a change to the query loop builder. That when you press it, it will go to, when you press the whole container, it will go to the post link. And we will do the same thing for this one. Now I see in the query loop builder, you also have the option to create a grid. Because we have one item and one row, we have something like this. I didn't notice it before, but I don't know if it works in this case, right? Because we only want to have a different kind of look for the first post, so I guess it's fine like this. Let's select our container. And let's select our group. And let's add a padding on the right side. Let's see. I want to right of 0.3 EM. That looks fine. So there we have our first section. Nice. I think it looks better again than his one. Next up is the mobile version. So let's view site. Let's select mobile. It's already nicely aligned, as you can see. The first one's bigger, and then we have some tinier ones. I don't know how he set it up for the mobile. Quite similar. He wants his one to be bigger on mobile. But I guess it's the same, but the menu doesn't look good for our site actually. If we can see here, this is still available and this is not needed on mobile, if you ask me. So we can just remove it by going to advanced and then go to responsive and then hide on mobile. Now if we hit save, it's still not the best look if you ask me, but it's as far as we can get right now. Let's see. Can we even make it the same as his? It is a bit of a challenge, right? To get as close as possible. Let's do that for next time. Now I'm going to create the last section for today. Let's add a container. And within the container, he has some kind of newsletter thingy. Now Greenshift doesn't have a out-of-the-box kind of thing for a form field like this one, but we can just make the section for now, and then next week we will add something for it. Also make a great semantic way of doing this. And here we have the query loop. We set something for each icon. I want each icon to be... Doesn't look like it. Maybe I do know it. Let's add a heading in here that says, what's this name? Subscribe today. And then afterwards, you can shortcut by Ctrl-Alt-Y. You can add another line. You can also do it by pressing Add After, and here's Ctrl-Alt-Y to add another row, another line, another thing, another block, and then you press / what we would like to add, a text, advanced text, and in the advanced text get the latest news in your email. That looks pretty good. Let's add a background, this kind, bluish gray. I guess we're going to do it like this. Hey Brendan, how nice of you to join. Thank you. I just love doing these kinds of things for Greenshift. And I also would like to still figure out how Bricks works, because I'm so excited. I'm getting more and more into how Bricks works, and I see the same kind of things being available in Greenshift. So I can't wait until doing some things for Bricks as well. I already have a video in mind, by the way, for going from Elementor to Bricks, because I've used Elementor in the past. Then I can show people what is the difference and how can you set it up with things you are used to doing it in Elementor, and what are the similarities and what should you do totally different, and what is the thing you need to learn. I mean, Kevin Geary has some good videos as well for that one, and you have some videos as well that could help new people as well that get into Bricks. Love your videos, by the way. But let's get on with this one. Now we've added a container wrapper, but I want to add something else, because a row will have a content width in there. So we'll add another one in here, another one there, and we will change the background color with the quick menu options again, background, and then something like this. I would like it to have the same color, so there we go. This is such a nice thing from Greenshift, that you can just select the color icon and then have the color picker already available in Greenshift and just select any colors. There's some weird things going on, as you can see. There's something hidden here. Row. It actually says row. Row. This is awesome. Ooh, there's also some hidden text in here. Where's this coming from? This is creepy. Nice. But yeah, the color picker is something that more editors should have, actually, if you ask me. Let's change the margin from the bottom to 1 pixel. Maybe just 0.5 EM. Sounds about right. And then group those together. And then afterwards, we don't have an email kind of thing, so form to be added. So there we go. That's it for today. I've had a lot of fun trying out some kind of things in Greenshift. I didn't use the query add-on a lot of, so it's for me a little bit of an experiment to just finding out how things work live. And when I finish up the whole project, I will make one bigger video just showing how you can create a full-fledged magazine-style website. Now within 1 hour, approximately, we get into how we can set up the heading with this kind of, what is it, New York Times style, how we can set up the date, although it isn't today, it's the date +1. I need to add ask Igor. Let me put that up as well. We need to ask Igor today's date. Can that be added? That would be nice. Have you noticed the alignment for row? There's a small padding, so it doesn't align with the normal Gutenberg row, though the setting is available to remove that padding. Is there a difference between Yes, there is. And it's because of the container padding. Yes, you are correct. That's always a little bit a shame, right? That there's some differences between how things work between the normal and the Greenshift things. So it would be very lovely if the default things would be used instead of having that one. So now I need to adjust it, right? I need to adjust it. I can't leave it alone because I want to finish with this perfectly. So thank you for notifying me, Ashutosh. It's again, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Once the padding is removed, then the mobile view requires padding. Yes, I do agree. The mobile view does require padding, and some kind of changes can be done also for the menu itself. But let's do that another time. Next week, I guess, I would like to finish. I would like to make this in a continuous kind of thing, and then we have learned together how to use this better. This thing called Greenshift. Let's see, can we set a flex? Yes, we can. Left to right. We want to have space between. There we go. And align to center. There's a very huge gap in between. So is there some kind of padding as well? There we go. No padding anymore. And in the row we can set a border. So now everything should be fine because we have set it to be, what's it called? Everything is using Greenshift now. Should be fine, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, it looks off, right? Still. So am I mistaken? Yes, I am. Is there another sort of padding going on? Some invisible padding? This one is using the Greenshift row, and this one is using also the Greenshift one. Semantically, by the way, this is a header. No, this is the nav. This is section. The whole thing is semantically a header. The downside also with using this. We need to have the right semantics. Let's go to this. You pronounce my name properly. Yes, I did it. I did it. Again, by the way, the last time I also did it right, if I remember correctly. If memory serves me right, and it doesn't always serve me right. Is there another invisible padding somewhere? Is there a visible padding in here? Yes, there is. But it's for the group. Doesn't seem too much. Top and bottom. Why is there so much difference between the first section and the next section? Why is that one wider? Because there needs to be a group in here, I guess. Let's do this and have a nice evening. No, we can't. For the page template, I was trying to build another author box, but the author data I am not able to fetch. Any tricks up your sleeve? For the author data, not that I know of. You can get the author, but I don't know if everything is available within the query add-on. So let me have a quick look. General, post data, site, user data. So these are available in the metadata. Author name, author link, description, meta username. So let me know if that's enough. But it's the only thing I can think of. Now, I think I'm not able to fix this. I don't know how to do. So we can cheat a little. Today's cheating day. Let's see. Left also 1, 2, 3. 3. 1 also 3. Still doesn't look very good. So we can add another one. Why does it change? It does things differently than I expected to do. So we can try to add because of these paddings. Single page template, but this is the template. It isn't the page. I'm already doing what Igor doesn't want us to do. I changed the front page instead of using pages. Let's select. Can we select header and add something to it? No. Let's add some padding. That looks better. And let's hit save. So there we go. That looks better. Don't think this aligns well, but it's fine. We have to convert the heading block into GS row completely and avoid the basic. Yes, I also think that's the case. So that's something I will do next week. Thank you very much. So this is what we got done today in 1 hour, something like that. We have the site name where you can click on and go to your homepage. We have today's date with May in there. We have the category selection, so our navigation with the default layout from Greenshift, and we have our social icons in there as well. And we've added a featured section with, on one side, some sub posts. And we have made a start with a subscribe today to get the latest email section. So there we go. That's how far we got in 1 hour, and he was there also in an hour and a bit, but he did say something about installing Cadence and demo content. So he did it in just shy over 30 minutes. So I guess I'm very slow, but still figuring out how it all works. So I'm pretty happy, pretty excited at how far I got. And so thank you all for watching. And if you love this kind of videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because next week we will do the next part, the subscribe today section with the form, and quite possibly we'll try to figure out what kind of email service you can use, some kind of email champ or convert kit. I don't know which one I would like to connect. We'll see that next week. And I will also be adding the last few sections that we didn't get to today. So that's it today. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, keep designing. I have to awkwardly search for my mouse and